Yo, what's good guys? Welcome back to another video where today we will be talking about the Gameweek 32 roundup games. And we're gonna be talking about them, see what happened in those games. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So first game, we had Arsenal versus Southampton. This was a crazy game. I expected Arsenal to win, but they didn't win. They got the draw. It ended 3-3. And Ramsdale, he made a mistake. He passed it into the middle to Zinchenko while he tried, and then it got intercepted. And then Southampton scored 1-0. And then Alcaraz played a beautiful ball to Walcott to make it 2-0. Arsenal were 2-0 down. It was so embarrassing for Arsenal. And then Saka cut it back to Martinelli to make it 2-1. So the comeback was on then. And then Ben White, he headers it into the net. He tries to header it into the net, but it gets cleared off the line. And James Ward-Prowse whips a corner in. And then a Southampton player heads it into the net for a 3-1 lead for Southampton. And then a great shot from Odegaard from outside the box. It was like low on the ground to the bottom left. And that makes it 3-2. And then Reece Nelson, he shoots around the penalty area. He shoots, keeper saves it. And then Saka gets the rebound and he puts it into the net to make it 3-3. So the game ended 3-3, as I said before. And the second game, we had Leeds versus Fulham. That game ended 2-1 to Fulham. Leeds had a free kick, but it was a really good free kick, but it was saved, I believe. Top corner. And then William crosses it back post to Wilson, who then volleys it in. Great volley. And then Somerville, he has a shot. And then he shoots from edge of the box, but it hits the side netting. And then Pereira hits a free kick, but it hits the bar. It was like super, super close to going into the top right corner. And then we had Robinson put a beautiful cross into Pereira, who then runs it into the net to make it 2-0 for Fulham. And then Mark Roca with a shot outside the box, but it's touched over by the keeper. And then Sinistera lays it off to Bamford to make it a 2-1 scoreline. And then a free kick by Willian, which is saved onto the post. And that game ended 2-1. So now we had Crystal Palace versus Everton. Now McNeil, he tried a shot inside the box, I believe, but it was too weak and the keeper gathered it. And then Iwobi to Calvert-Lewin, who then heads it into the keeper's hands once again. And then Elise crosses it into Ayew, who heads it over the net. And then we had Elise once again, who fires a shot, but in the keeper's hands again. A lot of their shots went into the keeper's hands. Like, for example, Mitchell had a volley, but the keeper flicked it over the net. Then Iwobi with a volley, it was going bottom left, but great save from the opposition keeper. And then we had Calvert-Lewin. He had a beautiful inside the foot turn. And then he shot it, but keeper saved it once again. Or it was wide. And then Holgate got sent off with a second yellow card. And the game ended 0-0. Now Leicester versus Wolves. Now Vardy squared it to Tete, but Tete, Leicester had a full net, no keeper in the net. But then there's a defender coming at Tete, so he blocked it. And then Cunha with a shot outside the box, and that makes it 1-0 for Wolves. And Penn for Leicester. And Iheanacho puts it in the bottom right corner, and that makes it a 1-1 score for that game so far. And Iheanacho tries a shot again, and then he saves it, and then Daka tries a rebound from that shot, and it's saved again. Great double save from a keeper. And then Daka, his shot is saved, and then Drewsbury Hall tries to get the rebound, but he skies it into row Z or Z. Ruben Neves free kick, but it's slightly over. It was super close to going top left. And then we had Soyuncu, who had a shot off the corner, but once again it was saved. And Castagna, he puts the ball into the bottom left to put Leicester up 2-1. And then Ruben Neves has another free kick, and that free kick is saved again. So that game ended 2-1 to Leicester. Now we had Liverpool versus Forest. Now this was a great game to watch. I was watching this game, and Trent, he whips in a corner, a cross from a corner, and Jota heads it in to make it 1-0. Then Nico Williams with a shot outside the box. I believe that was deflected off a defender, and yeah, that shot was deflected and it went into the net. And then Robbo, he takes a touch, puts it to Jota, who chests it down, and then he volleys it. That very, very nice goal. 2-1. That makes it 2-1. And then Gibbs White with a volley outside the box, which makes it 2-2. So it was like a back and forth game. And then Trent whips in a free kick to Salah, who puts it into the net to make it 3-2. And Brennan Johnson tries to chip the keeper, but it hits the bar. It was super, super close. So that game ended 3-2 in Liverpool's favor. So the next game we had Brentford versus Aston Villa. Now this game ended 1-1. Buendia had a shot. It was a good save from Raya though, and then Mbeumo tried a volley, but it was straight at the keeper. And then Tony, he shoots near post, but Emi Martinez with a incredible save. I believe it was going bottom right, but he saved it. And then McGinn tries a curled shot into the bottom left corner, but it does go wide. And then a Brentford player beats the keeper, but he misses a open net. I don't know how he hits the side netting or it goes wide. And then Tony to Mbeumo, who tries to shoot, but he skies it. And then Tony tries a bicycle kick, who it didn't go too well. It went wide. And then Mbeumo to Tony. Tony is back post, and then Tony puts it into the net through the defender's legs. So that makes it 1-0. And then Ramsey skies the ball in front of the net. And then we had another chance from Aston Villa. Ramsey passes it to Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz makes it 1-1 for Aston Villa. And Douglas Luiz tries a long shot from outside the box, but it did not go in. And the game ended 1-1 between the two. Now the next game was incredible. Newcastle versus Tottenham. Now this game ended 6-1 to Newcastle. Now Joe Linton had a shot. He tries the shot, but the keeper parries it to Murphy, who then scores the rebound to make it 1-0. And then a beautiful long ball from Machar to Joe Linton, who beats the keeper. and he puts it into the net for a 2-0 lead. And then Murphy scores a beautiful, beautiful long shot from outside the box to make it 3-0. And they were 3-0 up in 8 minutes. That's just incredible. Wow. And they were really good on the ball. And then a really good ball from Willock to Isak to make it 4-0. Insane first quarter. A football from Newcastle. Very, very bad from Spurs. And then Trippier cuts it back to Isak, who makes it 5-0. And then now Spurs got a chance, and it was Harry Kane. His shot finds the bottom right corner into the net, and that makes it 5-1, but they do not come back, unfortunately. And then Almiron shoots. It's a deflection off the Tottenham defender to Wilson, who just taps it into the net to make it a 6-1 win for Newcastle. Now the next game we had West Ham versus Bournemouth. This was the last game, and this ended 4-0 to West Ham. Now Cresswell whips in a corner, and Antonio heads it home to make it a 1-0 lead, and Kufal crosses it to Paqueta, who puts a lot of power into his header, and it goes into the net to make it 2-0. West Ham played pretty well in this game. Bournemouth, I didn't really see much of them in this game. And then we had Rice from a corner. It landed in front of him. He runs up to it, and he just strikes it with a lot of power into the net, and he scores, and that makes it a 3-0 lead for them. And then Bowen chips it far post to Fornals, who scores a scorpion kick. The ball was behind his back, and then he hits it with his, I believe, left leg. He hits it with the back of his foot, and then it goes in. Scorpion kick, a great goal from him. And Cornet, he also scores because Kufal or Sufal, he cuts it back for Cornet, and then Cornet just puts it into the net, but that was actually offside. Cornet was offside. And yeah, that game ended 4-0 to West Ham. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.